So this is the 15th of December. And this is really kind of amazing to me that some people are still under the impression that Trump is going to be president next month. The people that say this, like the hardcore MAGA crowd, it's really hard for me to tell if some of these people are just trolling or if they honestly believe, and I do think there are some people that honestly believe somehow this election is going to get overturned. And I think about what a freaking clusterfuck that would be if somehow these lawsuits in Texas, I mean, I don't think they were ever really serious, but I also don't think people understand what those lawsuits, not that I'm some sort of freaking law savant or something like this, but I understand that what they're basically trying to do is throw the election results away. And I've always been in the camp of, states being able to do things the way the state wants to do them. Kind of like the way the GOP used to always kind of sell things. But anyway, one of the things that I keep seeing over and over again on Twitter, I even have a few friends of mine that believe this thing that I want to point out in this video, that somehow suitcases full of ballots were just run through counting machines, and that's how Biden won the election. Now, I don't know how many counties there are in the United States. I'm going to do this on the fly here. Let's see. How many counties in the USA? Okay. So this says right here, how many counties? 3,142 counties and county equivalents in the 50 states. Okay. So let's just take round numbers, 3,000. I've heard the number millions of ballots. So let's just throw out 2/3 of the counties, because an election and a ballot is going to be different from county to county. I'm trying to think of like a state like Wyoming, where, not a lot of people, a lot of land. I don't really know the answer to this. Do they have some counties where the ballots are identical? Maybe. But there's so many things on different ballots that in order to have millions of ballots, you would have to do, I mean, just think of that. Just let's take 1,000 counties. Let's say we're gonna disperse votes in 1,000 counties. So you got 1,000 different ballots. In order to get 1 million votes, just 1 million votes in those 1,000 counties, you'd have to put 1,000 votes per county in the machine that counts for that county, right? The problem with that is, and here's the part I don't think people really understand how this works. You don't just get to put however many freaking ballots. I've made a video before that I talked about this a little bit, but there has to be a list of names of people that are registered to vote in that fucking county, right? And then the votes come in. So like when I go in to vote, somebody crosses my name off. Somebody else comes in claiming to be me. Well, in my state, you got to show an ID. But even these absentee ballots, somebody has to mark that off. And if somebody's going to say, oh, well, they just won't mark a name off. Well, then what we would have is a county with way more votes than people in the county or registered votes in the county. So you could cross-reference that. Now, here's the other thing. I've seen people claiming that there were districts where there were more votes than citizens or some nonsense like that. And I even saw on Twitter where someone said, you know, they specified the county or the district or whatever it was. And I looked it up. And it was just like, it was a high percentage of the people that were registered to vote in that district that actually voted in this one. And there were people that were trying to say that that's way too high. Even Obama didn't get people to turn out. So what I did was I looked at Obama's turnout, and it was higher. It was higher than Biden's, right? But some people were saying that it was more than 100%. That would be so easy to I mean, you could audit that easily. So my challenge to anybody that's claiming that that's true is show me the county, show me the district. You can go on these election result websites and find the count. And if you can show me a county or a district where there was more than 100%, nobody's going to be able to get away with that kind of stuff. It's just not going to happen. I've talked before about how you can use somebody's name, and I'm sure that this happens to some degree, but to do it in a presidential election, that is not going to happen. The election machine stuff, if that was the case, I pointed out this before, that if they're using the machines to change votes after the fact or during the fact, then we would expect no down ballot losses for the Democrats. Or at least they would have retained the seats they had. You know, they don't want to make it look so obvious. That's one of the freaking explanations people give. Well, they didn't want to get too greedy. It's like, you got to be kidding me. Anyway, I've been meaning to make this point about the millions of ballots that were fraudulent, that were just run through machines before. But I just haven't. And I don't know how this video is just going to be out there for the 5 people that have subscribed to this channel, and I'll probably link it up to some people. But if you really believe that millions of ballots got run through machines, just like some random ballots that somebody figured out, tell me how that would happen. I would, if, you know, freaking educate me, because I'm pretty sure that you just can't come up with those kind of numbers. So I'm going to end this video now because I'm really not making any more points. That's the end.